Hi, it's New Anime here, a new channel of anime recaps. I am New. Today I want to talk about a man who is distressed by his strong power, Peter. He has never won since he became the strongest man in the world because the challengers are all women from different races. These women don't come to defeat him. Instead, they want to have a baby with his genes. Peter has supreme strength, but he can't resist women's sexy bodies. So how do those women achieve their goal? Let's see. The story starts with a competition. It is the most important competition in the world, and the winner can be acclaimed as the strongest man in the world. This time, Peter, who comes from the Brave Swordsman's Guild, wins the championship. What he wants to do now is to rush out of the arena and celebrate with his lover, Lovilia, and then marry her. At this moment, Nini, an ogress from the guild, is the first to congratulate him. After that, she proposes a bizarre request that she wants to have children with Peter, which frightens Peter. Ogres worship the strong, and she thinks it is reasonable to desire the genes of the strongest man in the world. Peter hastily refuses her, stating that in the human world, this behavior requires an intimate relationship. Nini misunderstands him and suggests they can start by sleeping together. Peter doesn't know how to respond to Nini, asking Nini's sister, Lisa, to tell her what is the right concept. Lisa seriously criticizes Nini, loudly announcing that as her older sister, she deserves to sleep with Peter and get Peter's seed first. Peter cannot change their terrible thinking and has to run away quickly. Unfortunately, the girls will not let him go easily. Not until he arrives at the church where he agreed with Lovilia does he relax. They fold their hands and thank God for making their love come true. Lovilia feels it is time to have a child as a symbol of their love now. She is so innocent that she thinks if they pray sincerely to the God will send the stork to bring them a child. Peter's girlfriend really doesn't know anything about the relationship between men and women. Peter returns home in annoyance and surprisingly finds Nini and Lisa have broken into his house and try to seduce him in various ways. He tries to suppress his desire, but the soft things in front of him make his body completely out of control. Accompanied by the ogresses, Peter spends the whole night making irrevocable mistakes and thus leaving tears of regret, while the girls sleep contentedly. Coincidentally, Lovilia's voice comes from outside the door. Peter panics, hurriedly shoving the two girls into the closet. They are very angry, but he can only prevent Lovilia from discovering his mistake by this means. Lovilia is curious about why Peter is sweaty early in the morning. He lies he is doing morning exercises, fooling the innocent girl, Lovilia. She takes Peter to the Brave Swordsman's Guild to visit her father, the president of the Brave Swordsman's Guild. He loves his daughter so much that he never allows any man to get close to her and always stops her from dating Peter. But now that Peter has become the strongest man in the world, he has to agree to their engagement and holds an evening banquet. Now Peter feels very happy, but happiness is a flash. When he is in the restaurant alone, the ogresses appear and congratulate Peter on his engagement. Peter thinks they have given up on him, but unexpectedly, they just ask for his seeds again. They do not intend to marry him, only wanting to have children with strong bloodline. As they force to take off Peter's pants, Lovilia walks in. He hurriedly hides the girls under the table and uses the tablecloth to cover the lower part of his body. Luckily, Lovilia doesn't notice anything unusual. However, he is sitting where Lovilia's father should sit on. Lovilia's father has walked in and asks him to move away. To avoid embarrassment, he has to lie that he wants to sit closer to Lovilia. Lovilia's father is furious, but his daughter takes Peter's side, so he has to leave with his anger. However, Peter still doesn't solve his trouble. The ogresses start their actions. They keep teasing him under the table, causing him to be very nervous. At this point, Lovilia's father gets drunk, so Lovilia has to take care of him. The ogresses seize this opportunity to boldly stimulate Peter's nerves. This night, Peter can't hold his desire again. He repents in the sunlight, sighing for his weak will. He questions to the sun why men always regain their composure after everything is over. He can only find the answer himself. However, he faces more than just the two ogresses. One night, he dreams of his beloved girl, Lovilia. When he reaches out to touch her, he wakes up, surprisingly finding an elf appearing in front of him. She is called Vegan, whose purpose is to acquire Peter's seed, just like the ogresses. However, Peter firmly refuses, which leads to her fury. She tries to obtain the seed by force, but unfortunately this time Peter is so determined that his body has no reaction at all, and he is pleased with himself. In a rage, Vegan casts an elven spell on him and she is sure that a day later, Peter will voluntarily ask to give his seeds to her. Peter watches her leave, not caring so much because nothing has happened so far. When he is dressed and ready to go out to work, he receives the news that Lovilia was attacked by a monster full of tentacles, which uses the tentacles to control Lovilia and then tears her clothes. He keeps stimulating her nerves and destroying her consciousness, which is so effective that Lovilia has no way to resist and is about to be defeated by her desire. At the critical moment, Peter arrives in time to kill the monster and save Lovilia. They go to the hot spring in order to relieve the exhaustion caused by the battle. Peter is the only one in the men's bath and he notices something unusual. He becomes excited and is full of lust. At this moment, Vegan appears. She triumphantly says it is because her spell works. Only when the one who cast the spell on him lifts the spell will he not get hurt. She asks Peter to kneel down and voluntarily offers the seeds. Once again, he is forced to betray his love. He can only console himself that what he did is just for his future with Lovilia. They stay at the hotel until morning, and his body is as content as Vegan's, but he feels depressed. Meanwhile, Lovilia's father is making a plan to break Peter and Lovilia's relationship. He arranges a blind date between Peter and a girl from the Orkland, claiming that it is to maintain friendly relations with the Orkland and will not have substantive results. Lovilia knows her father does not have good intentions, but she does not stop it because she trusts Peter. Now she does not realize how bad the matter will be. Peter also knows the real purpose of this blind date is to make him cheat on Lovilia. He feels confident because he will never fall in love with an ugly orc, but the orc girl, Piglet, who has the blind date with him, is different from other orcs that she is beautiful and sexy. When they are spending time alone together, Piglet always gets blushed and pants heavily. It is her first time talking so close with a man. Piglet feels so inferior because other orcs think she is ugly, and she is always excluded. She thinks she is not good enough for Peter, the strong man. Without saying many words, she just rushes out in tears, but is stopped by several horny men. Peter bravely defeats these men, gently telling Piglet that she is very cute. He goes shopping with Piglet, and they wander around the human world together, making Piglet fall in love with him completely. Lovilia's father takes the opportunity to order Peter and Piglet to spend the night in the same room, claiming that it is to show sincerity. Peter does not want to betray Lovilia and refuses to let Piglet approach him. Piglet thinks she is so ugly that Peter is unwilling to come near her. After being gently comforted by Peter, she gives him a passionate kiss. Peter constantly takes deep breaths and tries to drive away his evil thoughts. He finally loses to the temptation at the moment Piglet takes off her clothes. After waking up, Peter blames himself for his lack of determination again. Once Piglet reveals everything, he and Lovilia's relationship will definitely end. He tells Piglet this blind date is a political marriage. She needs to figure out what kind of life she wants to live before she makes a decision. Before that, she has to conceal their relationship. It is obvious of Peter's lie. However, a miracle happens. Piglet conceals what happened last night as he said. After thinking, she decides to obtain Peter's seeds for herself, not for the orcs. She wants to use his seeds to have the strongest child, ordering this child to eliminate all the orcs that laughed at her. Peter realizes that he may create a horrible monster. When he returns home, there are 4 girls asking for his seeds: Vegan, Piglet, Lisa, and Nini. As they compete for Peter, a fierce conflict breaks out. Piglet is the clever one among them. She takes the initiative to show her weakness in front of 3 forceful girls, arousing Peter's sympathy. After that, she shows her excellent body, hinting that Vegan is much worse than her. And then, they summon Agape, a fairy that can measure male arousal and tries various means to compete on their charm. Peter is annoyed about girls' competition. His neighbor suggests him end this argument with alcohol, and he agrees. Unexpectedly, girls get crazier after they get drunk. Their seductive actions cause Agape to score more than the maximum. Peter finally fails to hold back his desire, and he confesses his fault again when he wakes up. Though satisfied, girls still think they should avoid more arguments. They make a pact regardless of Peter's opposition, agreeing on a schedule of owning Peter. From then on, Peter has endlessly intimate interactions with these girls. After that, he goes on a date with Lovilia on his promised day off with the girls. They enjoy their long-awaited time as lovers and have a happy day. Soon, it's dinner time. Nini's appearance ruins it, and she comes to ask Peter for the seeds. Peter accuses her of breaking the pact, but she says that a free day off is the best chance to avoid the others. The simple girl, Lovilia, does not understand at all. Thinking they are discussing work, Peter hurriedly takes Nini to the restroom and satisfies her. He thinks it is over. On the contrary, it is just the beginning. After Nini leaves, Vegan and Lisa show up one after another. They each enjoy Peter for the same reason, leaving him with little time to spend with Lovilia. After that, they leave with satisfaction. The date eventually ends in failure. Peter is upset. When he goes home, he cries while taking a shower. Luckily, Piglet is willing to listen to all his sadness, bringing him long-lost security. Not until he gives his seeds in Piglet's tenderness does he realize he is tricked. Other girls suddenly show up, blaming Piglet for not keeping the pact, and they take turns taking away Peter's seeds again. He is so sad because no one follows the rules, which are not agreed by him. He leaves home, sadly crying in the rain. A passing ogre warrior notices Peter being so sad, warmly handing Peter a towel. Peter complains to the ogre in tears that he has a beloved girl, but he can't stay with her. The ogre can understand Peter's feelings. He has been chasing after the ogre princess for many years, but it is still useless. But he believes if they can persist, they can definitely be with their lover. Peter is so moved until he hears the girl's name that the ogre warrior likes, Lisa. He anxiously rushes home, questioning Lisa's real identity. Lisa doesn't deny it, stating that she won't hold Peter responsible because what she wants is just his seed. After explaining it, Lisa has intimate interactions with Peter again. Meanwhile, the ogre warrior comes to the Brave Swordsman's Guild to inquire as to Lisa's whereabouts. The receptionist, who likes muscular men, can't resist the ogre warrior's charm, so she tells him Lisa's address. It is obviously a disaster. When he sees Lisa, he turns to anger from desperation, because Lisa is sleeping with the man he helped just now. He then destroys the whole room and beats Peter. However, Peter can only use a banana beside the road as his weapon, though he is the strongest man in the world. This battle will be a tough one for him. Luckily, Lisa stops the ogre in time. The ogre then calms down to have a talk with Lisa, asking Lisa to go back to lead the ogres, because they don't have a leader now. But Lisa refuses. She thinks there is no one stronger than her in her homeland, and their seeds have no value at all. Before she can have a child with the strongest man in the world, she won't go back to her homeland. In order to prove his strength, the ogre asks Peter to duel with him. Peter knows he can get rid of Lisa if he loses to the ogre deliberately. However, Lisa sees through what he thinks, saying that if he doesn't fight with all his strength, she will tell Lovilia, who is watching the duel, that he has an affair with other women. Finally, Peter is forced to defeat the ogre warrior, who also has great power. When the ogre warrior feels depressed, the receptionist confesses her love to him, which is like a light in the darkness for the ogre warrior. He tries to give up on Lisa and fall in love with the receptionist. When they are dating, the ogre warrior gradually realizes that the receptionist is the one worthy of his full love, so he no longer chases Lisa. After that, Peter is very disappointed, but Lisa is satisfied, saying that Lovilia's father doesn't like Peter, so he can never be with Lovilia. She thinks Peter can only gain happiness by marrying her. When Peter is wavering, Lovilia shows up. Seeing her cute face, Peter is not hesitant anymore. He firmly believes Lovilia is the only girl he wants. At the end of the story, Lovilia tells the bad news that the goblins invade humans' kingdom, and the Brave Swordsman's Guild has to go to support humans. Peter and Lovilia hold each other's hands, believing that they can overcome any difficulty if they are together. However, Peter doesn't notice the four girls are following him behind. It seems they will never give up on getting Peter's seeds. There is an interesting point in this anime that the four girls make a pact in order to compete for Peter. In the pact, girls agree on the time of owning Peter. However, they all break the pact in order to get Peter first. It seems that Peter is really seductive to them. When watching the anime, I can know that Peter feels guilty and tortured every time he betrays his lover, but his body or desires really get satisfied. Besides, I sincerely feel sympathy for Lovilia, who is unaware of everything. I am curious about her attitude after she learns how to have babies. Will she act more feverishly than the four girls to have Peter's baby first, or severely punish Peter, who frequently cheats on her? I really look forward to this simple girl surprising us in the next season. If you also look forward to it, please like and subscribe. I will make a recap of season 2 on my channel afterwards. Bye!